students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well. So now I am going to start second chapter from chemistry, that is acids, bases and salts. Okay, so before going to start this chapter, we all knew that up to now how many elements were discovered? 118 elements were discovered up to now. How many elements were discovered? 118 elements were discovered. Okay, we know so many elements are there, isn't it? Hydrogen, oxygen, copper, gold, so many elements we know, isn't it or not? So when one element combined with some other element, we know what will form? Compounds will be formed, isn't it or not? When one element reacts with some other element, a new compound will form with entirely new properties, isn't it or not? So whatever compounds are forming with these elements, so we have classified all those compounds into three categories. How many categories we have discovered these compounds? We have classified those compounds into three categories. What is those three categories? Acids, bases and salts. Okay, so in this chapter we will learn what are acids, what are bases and what are salts, and also we will see their chemical properties and their uses and everything. To learn those properties, first we have to learn about one more topic, that is what is indicator. Okay, what is indicator? So generally we should know now which substance, means we are telling acids, bases and salts, but to differentiate those things, something should be there to differentiate those substances, isn't it or not? So to differentiate those things, we will use some substances. Those substances are called as indicators. Actually, what is the definition, exact definition of that indicator? It is a dye that changes when it is put into an acid or base. So it is one type of substance. Okay, indicator is one type of substance. When it is added to either acid or base, that it will change its color. Okay, it will change its color. For example, examples we will see later. So first we have a look on the definition. What is indicator? It is a dye that changes when it is put into an acid or base. So if we are adding that indicator to any acid or to any base, if it changes one particular color to some other particular color, then we will differentiate the substance is either an indicator or base. Okay, so generally what type of indicators we will use? The common indicators, generally common indicators what we are using is, those indicators are litmus, methyl orange and phenolphthalein. Okay, there are three common indicators we are using. What are those three indicators? Litmus, methyl orange and phenolphthalein. So here, how those indicators will change the colors we will see. First indicator is litmus. Okay, so this litmus actually will available in two colors. One is blue color and another one is red color. Okay, now how many colors litmus will be available? Two colors. One is blue color and another one is red color. So if we are adding, for example, I have taken one solution. I don't know which color it is. Okay, I don't know whether it is acid or base. Okay, so for example, I have taken one that blue litmus paper, and I have put that blue litmus paper into the solution. If that blue paper is turned into red color, if the blue color is changed to red color, then that solution, whatever solution I have taken, is which one it is? It is an acid. Clear everyone? What is? Means how this litmus one we will see the color. If I have taken one unknown solution and I have put one blue color litmus paper in that one, if that blue color is changed into red color, then the solution is nothing but acid. Okay. Or if you are putting red color one, or if you are taking red one, red, it is no change. solution, and if there is no change, nothing, say red color as it is there means, then that case also we can consider that solution is acid. Clear? Yes. Then come to, if you are taking one solution, if in that solution you are putting red color litmus paper and that red color is changed to blue color, then that solution is nothing but base. Okay. Or if you are inserting blue color in that one and blue color to no change, means same as it is, blue color means nothing but that solution is a base. Clear? So this is about the litmus, how we will differentiate acid and base by using litmus indicator. Okay. Next one is methyl orange. Methyl orange general color, always in its name itself orange is there, so its general color is orange only, methyl orange. If you are taking one acid and adding 2-3 drops of this methyl orange, if that solution is changed to red color, then that solution is acid. Okay, if you are taking one solution and adding methyl orange 3 to 4 drops to it, and if that solution is changing to red color, then we consider that taken solution is acid. And if the same, if you are taking one more solution and adding 2-3 drops of methyl orange, and that solution is changing into yellow color, means that taken solution is base. Clear? Acidic means changes to red color, base means it changes to yellow color. Okay? So next one is phenolphthalein. General color of phenolphthalein is colorless. Okay, no color it will be. If you are taking one solution and adding this phenolphthalein to it and there is no change, even after adding phenolphthalein also no change, colorless means that taken solution is acid. Or after adding, if the solution is changing to pink color, after adding phenolphthalein, if the solution is changing to pink color, that solution is base. Clear? So these are the general common indicators we will use. Okay, some 2 more natural indicators are there. That is one we know we are using in our houses. That is turmeric. Okay, turmeric is also a natural indicator. The general color of turmeric is yellow. We all know, isn't it or not? And if we are adding any base to it, then means if any base is going to add to the turmeric, immediately that changes to red color. Okay, if for example see when we are eating something, some curry or something fall on our clothes, okay, when we are rubbing with the soap, immediately that stain will change into red color or not? Yes. Why it will change into red color? Because soap is made up of some type of base, isn't it or not? As it is made up of some type of base, that one will change it into red color. Okay. So turmeric we are using, when it is come in contact with any base, it changes to red color. Okay. Next one more natural indicator is red cabbage. In name itself red is written there, so general color is red. When any acidic solution is added, it will change into red in color, or when any basic solution is added to it, it will change into green color. Okay, so these are the general indicators. And one more type of indicators are there, those are olfactory indicators. What it is? Olfactory indicators. Olfactory is nothing but it is related to sense of smell. It is related to some sense of smell. Okay, means by using the smell we will detect whether the substance is acid or base. See here, definition, what do you mean by olfactory indicators? The substances whose smell changes in acid or basic solution are called olfactory indicators. Means by adding these indicators, if that substance is losing its characteristic smell, that type of substance we will call it as olfactory indicators. There are 2 olfactory indicators are there. One is onion and another one is vanilla extract. We all know now onion will have some its own characteristic smell, isn't it or not? Yes. So how we will use this one means when this onion is added to any base. Okay, if we are adding sodium hydroxide or some other base, this onion will lose its in that case we will not get that onion smell. When that onion is losing its characteristic smell, the added solution or added substance is nothing but made up of base. Okay, or if we are adding acid to that onion, okay, any acid type of thing we are adding, then it will have its own smell. By this what we can say, when any base is adding, onion will lose its smell. When any acid is adding, as it is, onion smell will be there. By using the smell only we are differentiating or not, whether it is acid or base. Yes, by using the smell only we are differentiating. That's why we will call this onion is a olfactory indicator. Even vanilla extract, vanilla also will having some present smell or not? Yes. If when this vanilla extract is added to any base, it will lose its that present smell. And when we are adding any acid to it, to that acid is vanilla smell we will get. So here also by using the smell only we are differentiating acid and base. So here like this olfactory indicators will be differentiated. Clear children? All the topics here, indicators, common indicators we have seen, and after that olfactory indicators. We are going to discuss about the first topic, that is acids. Okay, so what are generally acids? Means each and every substance will have some particular characteristic, isn't it or not? So what are the general characteristics of acids means? See here, the substance which have sour taste and changes blue litmus to red litmus. Already we have seen, if we are taking any acidic solution and inserting blue paper in that one, it immediately changes to red color, isn't it or not? So that is also one characteristic. And generally all the acids will have sour taste. For example, lemon, tamarind, we know the taste or not. Means why those lemon or tamarind gives a sour taste means nothing but presence of some type of acids. Okay, so as some type of weak acids are present in those substances, that substance will give a sour taste. So this is the basic characteristics of the acid. One is it gives a sour taste, and second one is it changes blue litmus to red litmus. Okay, so here different types of acids are also there. All the acids are not of same kind. There are different types of acids are there, isn't it or not? So if we will see two types of acids, what are those? Organic acids and mineral acids. Organic acids means the acids which are present in plant minerals and animals. Okay, what we are getting from plants and animals, that type of acids we will call it as organic acids. Okay, and next one is examples of organic acids are example acetic acid, citric acid, lactic acid. If we will see citric acid, we will get all this acid in all the citric fruits, orange, lemon, like that. And lactic acid we will get in sour milk, and even acetic acid we will get this acetic acid in vinegar. So these are all these we can consume these acids. Means organic acids we can consume, no problem. And next acids are mineral acids. In the name itself it is there, mineral acids, the acids which are prepared by minerals. That type of acids are called as mineral acids. Okay, these acids are man-made acids. Okay, example hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid. All these are examples of mineral acids. These are very dangerous acids. We cannot consume these type of acids. Okay, here those mineral acids and organic acids are also have some other names. Other names means nothing but we will call all the mineral acids are some strong acids. Means we cannot consume, they are very strong, they are dangerous to handle. Okay, so those mineral acids we will call it as strong acids. And next one is organic acids. All the organic acids are weak acids. We can consume those weak acids, so no problem. So that's why we will differentiate mineral acids and organic acids as strong acids and weak acids. Clear? Then again there are two categories are there. One is concentrated acid, second one is dilute acid. What is concentrated acid? What is dilute acid? Concentrated acid means means acid which contains the minimum amount of water in it. Means if we are taking 100 ml of hydrochloric acid, for example, we are taking, okay, 100 ml of hydrochloric acid we are taking. In this one, in this hydrochloric acid, if 90 ml is acid and 10 ml is water is there. Okay, see which quantity is more here? Acid quantity is more here, isn't it or not? I have taken 100 ml of hydrochloric acid here, but here which quantity is more? Acidic acid quantity is more. 90 ml acid is there, only 10 ml of water is there. Okay, 10 ml of water is there. So here water quantity is very less compared to acidic quantity, isn't it or not? So that type of acids we will call it as concentrated acids. The acids in which there will be minimum amount of water will be there. That type of acids we will call it as concentrated acids. Okay, then what do you mean by dilute acids? Dilute means just, see here, dilute acid definition. A dilute acid is one which contains much more of water in it. Means here opposite. For example, this is 10 ml is there, this is 90 ml is there. Okay, for example, 10 ml acid is present and 90 ml water is present. See here which quantity is more here? Water quantity is more compared to acid quantity, isn't it or not? So that type of acids we will call it as dilute acids. What is dilute acid? It is a dilute acid is one which contains maximum amount of water. Much more of water if it is there, that type of acid we will call it as dilute acid. Okay. So after that we will see how we will change concentrated acid to dilute acid. Okay. So here there are two ways. One method is we can add acid to water, and another method is we can add water to acid. But which one is correct method? See here. Always remember that we have to add acid to water. Why? Because when we are taking water, okay, and adding acid, when we are adding acid, heat energy will be evolved. Isn't it or not? So when heat is evolved, that heat will be absorbed with a large amount of water. So no problem. That acid we can change to dilute acid. But when we are adding water to concentrated acid, okay, when you are adding water here, when water is added here, suddenly large amount of heat will be evolved, and when this heat will react to this acid and steam will be released. That may cause injury to that person. So here what happens, always remember we should add acid to water for making dilute acid from concentrated acid. We should never add water to concentrated acid. Clear children?